Hello everyone, welcome back to All About the Mags. Thank you all for stopping in and watching. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. I hope every one of you having an amazing and a blessed day on today. Today I'm bringing a cooking video. I am now prepping some smoked pork tails, which I'm going to put in my collard greens. After I washed and soaked my pork tails in some vinegar, I started adding my seasoning to it, putting some more fresh water and add my seasoning. I added salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, red pepper flakes, Cajun seasoning, and yeah. And then I started, while that over on the stove boiling and all of that, I started removing the skin off of my ribs. Once I got the skin off my ribs, I started slicing each individual rib. Then after I got them all sliced up, I took it back to the sink and started washing my ribs again and try to drain as much water off of it as I could. So after I got them all sliced up, I started chopping up my collards. Started removing the stem. And this is after I washed it about 3 times, each leaf about 3 times, front and back first. Then I brought it over to my counter to start removing the stem and chopping it. Sometimes I chop it different sizes. Today I wasn't going for a particular size. I just was chopping them. I chopped up all of my greens and I went and washed them again. After I done chopped them up, I washed them again about 3 more times, chopped up. And I just set them to the side. Next, I started on my ribs. I started seasoning them with some olive oil and my seasonings. I realized it was some more liquid to the bottom, so I went and drained some more liquid off as much as I could. And I started back with seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, Cajun seasoning, some Lorry seasoned salt, but use whatever seasoning you like. Also went in with some Saison packets. I used 2 packets on it. I just rub and massage all of those seasonings in. Then I'm gonna let all of this marinate while I work on my other dishes. So after I got everything all marinated in, I covered with aluminum foil and I went and sit it in the fridge for a little while to marinate. Then I went back to my greens, and this is after I washed them again 3 more times, chopped up. This is how it looked. Started chopping up some onions. I rough chopped 2 large onions. And with these onions, it's gonna go in my greens. Got the onions all chopped up. And I set those to the side. And I started getting my pot together for my greens. I started, those are pork fat back or salt back meat that I have at the bottom. I fried those about 4, I think I have 4 pieces in there. And after I got them fried to that desire, I started adding some onions. Not all of my onions, but majority of them. Then I started adding my collards. And collards, of course, you all know that they will make their own water. So I just put the collards in it and cover it up. and all fit. Sometimes I've been having a problem with having too much collards to fit at one time, but they all managed to fit in the pot. And then I came back. Even though it makes its own water, I add a cup of water to it as well, because I love the pot liquor and I just wanted more juice. I added about 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and I started stirring it up so I can get all the onion that I had at the bottom incorporated into the greens. And I went in with another cup of water. Again, I love a lot of pot liquor, so I added some more water. Started adding my seasoning. I add salt, red pepper flakes, cayenne pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, some chicken bouillon, some Cajun seasoning, and I stir and incorporated all of those seasonings together. And I cover it, and I came back after it done boiled down some. After all of my pigtails done boiled to my liking, I took the pigtails out and set it to the side because I'm gonna take the bones and all that out. But I added some of that pot liquor to that to the greens that the pork tails cooked in. And while that was cooking and simmering over there, I went and started on my cheeses. I started shredding my cheeses up. This is the red hoop cheese. So I shredded 2 packs of those. Then I started working on my macaroni noodles. Was over there cooling. I added in my butter while it was still hot so the butter could go ahead and melt in it. And I don't cook my cheese sauce on the stove. You all, I just put it in my macaroni and cook it in it like that. So I started adding my cheese. I don't add 2 types of cheese. I added my red hoop shredded cheese that I shredded, and mozzarella cheese, shredded mozzarella cheese. I also add a can of cheddar cheese soup. I just always have, no special reason. They don't give it another exciting taste or anything. I just always have. I added 3 cans of pet evaporated milk. Why 3 cans? Because I love my macaroni and cheese to be really, really moist. So I added 3 cans. Pepper. A scoop of sour cream. 3 eggs after it done cool, of course, because by the time it already cooled down. I added 3 eggs. Now I went in with a little bit of heavy whipping cream and a teaspoon of sugar. This is my pan. After I got it all mixed up, I added it to my pan. I covered the pan and let it go in the oven about 30 minutes. And I'm going to tell you why I do that. So the cheese can finish melting, because I'm going to take it back out and stir it again. And you'll see that shortly. While that's in the oven, I went and started removing the bones from my pigtails. I don't like to just mix my pigtails into my collards because I cannot stand bones in my collards. I like to eat it at peace. So I went to my collards and started adding that in. And some more onion, the remaining of the onions in there. And I just stir it all around. At this time, I went back in with some more seasonings. Just a little bit of every seasoning that I did in the beginning. I went back and added the same seasoning in. Except for vegetable, I didn't have that seasoning in the first round, but that vegetable salt-free seasoning, I add that in there as well. And a teaspoon of sugar. And I stir it all together. All that simmer. I went in with a little bit more of the pork tails pot liquor. There was some more pigtails in there, so I just mix it in there. I went in with a little more cayenne flavor. Okay, I took my macaroni out of the oven and I started stirring it up because by this time all of my cheese already melt all the way. So I stirred it up together and it hasn't been settling and being solid yet. So I stirred all around. It's still moist and juicy and liquidy. So I stirred all together. Now I added the remaining cheese that I shredded, the red hoop mild cheddar cheese on top. And I covered it again and put it back in the microwave. I mean, not the microwave. I'm so sorry. I covered again and put it in the oven again just to go ahead and this time bake all the way through. And I went and attend to my collards. Now, by this time, I went into the oven and took the aluminum foil off so the top could start to brown. In the meantime, while the macaroni is browning and the collards are simmering, I took my meat out of the refrigerator that was marinating, and started massaging the meat again to make sure all the seasonings in there. Took the macaroni out because I did not want it to burn or get too brown on the top. And the collards are pretty much done. So now that the collards are done, the macaroni is out of the oven. I already put my rice on. Now I'm about to start to fry my ribs. I put some all-purpose flour in a bowl to coat my ribs. And I took it out of the refrigerator about 30 minutes. So it was sitting about 30-40 minutes before I start to fry them because I did not want to start to fry them exactly time I got them out of the refrigerator because it was still cold. So I let it sit on the counter for about 30-40 minutes before I start to fry them. And I'm frying them in my deep fryer. So I'm putting about 4 pieces in the first batch. And we always like our anything that we frying, whether it's ribs, chicken, pork chops, to be crispy. So it's crispy enough how we love it. So I'm going in with the second batch and do the same thing. And I'm all finished. And there you have it, ribs, collards, macaroni, rice, and yeah, and I also got that cake from Publix Deli. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. Be blessed. Bye.